I think it's time we talk about how expensive hobbies have gotten. I mean, have you looked at the price of things recently? Oh my gosh, it has gotten so expensive and unaffordable to do anything. And now, if you are into any sort of hobby, like me, I'm one of those people that suffer from having multiple hobbies. Like, I've got all of the hobbies. Oh my goodness. I want to do everything. So in this video, I am going to talk about, first of all, hobbies, how expensive they've gotten. Oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. And we're going to take a little bit of a look at how we can try and make those hobbies a little bit more, well, cheaper, especially if you're just starting out. Just a quick shout out to these lovely YouTube members. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your support. And then also thank you to these beans that have supported me on Coffee. Thank you so much. Your support means the world to me. So let's start off with a little personal story. I browsed the internet and the latest release of my personal cardboard crack, Magic the Gathering, the new set has now been dropped. Well, not dropped, but they spoiled it. It's the Final Fantasy set. Now, if you know anything about me, I am a little bit dubious about these extended universes or whatever universes beyond sets that they have, because I feel like it's basically the Fortnitification of Magic, and I was all against it and blah, blah, blah. But looking at what the cards do, oh my goodness, it's ridiculous. So obviously, because I'm a massive Final Fantasy nerd and I'm a massive Magic nerd, I'm like, yes, I need all of these cards. They look amazing. And my brain just automatically wants me to buy all of them. And then I saw the price. My goodness, the price is absolutely insane. And that made me think a little bit about, well, hobbies in general. How expensive hobbies have gotten throughout the years. If you do anything, let's say gaming has gotten so expensive because let's say you want to get a console, look at the price of a PlayStation 5 or Xbox or even the new Switch that's going to come out. It's ridiculously expensive. And then games, now they want to sell them at $80 a pop. That is insanity. It's ridiculous. Furthermore, if you look at other type of hobbies, let's say you are into D&D and you want to get new campaign books, those can be expensive. There are, of course, ways to make things much cheaper, but the commercial side of it, if you want to get into the commercial side of hobbies, let's say things like Magic the Gathering or games or those type of things, can be insanely expensive. So much so that I've seen around the internet people saying that their hobbies cost them more than their monthly rent, which is absolutely ridiculous. That is insane. Have we entered an era where hobbies have now turned into this thing that they're so monetized and these greedy companies try to squeeze so much money out of us that we're just pouring this money into it, and maybe they've done it in such a sneaky way that we haven't realized how much money we are giving them. Oh my goodness. I don't think it's a topic that is well covered throughout the internet because I don't think it's a very monetizable topic. If I'm completely honest with you, most influencers and those kind of people that get like brand deals and those type of things will never say this because it's their lifeline. They're dependent on the brand to give them money, so they can't really say these things. But I'm now going to make this video and I'm going to put it out there. It is expensive. Why is it so expensive? There's no reason for cardboard to be this expensive. Wizards of the Coast, hello? Why is Magic the Gathering products all of a sudden so incredibly expensive? It's frustrating. It really is. But there's a few things we can do. Let's take a little look at hobbies in general. So how can we make our hobbies a little bit more, well, affordable? I think the first thing is to understand why hobbies are so expensive to begin with. Well, obviously marketing has gotten a lot better. People do a ton of research into marketing and they want to stir up FOMO. So you watch these videos on Twitter or on Blue Sky or on TikTok or YouTube, wherever, where they have these fancy promo materials for it. They create hype. It's a whole thing. And that hype essentially makes you spend money because you feel like, oh, it's going to be so good, or they They lock it behind exclusivity or some kind of thing like that. So there is this emotion that stirs up into you. The second thing is the gear trap. So, usually you have like a starter kit and they say, oh no, this is an essential thing. Let's say, as an example, you want to get into voice acting or streaming or whatever. They like to have these little microphones that come with a boom arm and a this and a that and a this and a that. They like to give you this entire package. But at the end of the day, that package might be a lot more expensive than to buy the parts individually. And it might also come with parts that you will never really need. So things like starter kits or even the temptation to upgrade constantly can be quite expensive. Then there's also hobby inflation. So materials, tools, and memberships, all of these things, all of these costs rise. And when you are in a hobby that is extremely niche, let's say something where there's low supply, but high demand, there will of course be a high markup for those kind of things. So if you are in a hobby where it's a niche, maybe take a look at how you can do things yourselves. Then there's also the collectibles culture and the status around it. So thinking about specifically like Magic the Gathering, this is a trap that I've been in for a long time, and I've played Magic for a long time. And it's always a thing about, oh, I got this amazing card and it's so expensive and I should sell it, but I never do because I want to collect it. And I feel like, ooh, this card, I have this card. Ooh, look at me. Even though, it's not really such a big deal, you fall into this trap where you want to collect things. And then also there's a paywall to certain communities. So you think about classes, forms, or those type of things that's locked behind a paywall, and all of these things do inevitably cost a little bit of money. And when you put all of that money together, the costs that you have to join this hobby become extreme once you start calculating them. So that's it. How can we make hobbies cheaper in this year? Well, first of all, if you are new to a hobby, start small. Use cheap or free assets and try before you buy, like borrow or rent something. Don't immediately jump into the largest, most fantastic thing. The next part is to buy secondhand. Now I know this can be a little bit of a downer because you like to open something brand new, but see what you can get for, from the secondhand market. Like, next is to learn for free. So you can learn things from YouTube. You can do like YouTube tutorials, or there's free courses, public libraries if they even still exist. There are tons of information on Reddit and forums like that can teach you for free. Then there's also, of course, the option to do it yourself, DIY, or repurpose things. Let's say, as an example, you are a hobbyist in the furry community and you really want a fursuit. See how you can maybe make your own fursuit. You can go onto YouTube, see what's the cheapest options available, see where you can get cheap fur, maybe from a local material shop and so forth. And you can start building your own fursuit, Or, I'm not going to say like print your own cards or those type of things because that's a little bit strange. But if you are in a hobby that allows for it, where you can do DIY things, absolutely do it yourself. Not only are you teaching yourself a skill, but it also opens the possibility for a lot more customization. Then the most important part, I think, is to set a budget. Make sure that your budget is set and make sure that you stick to that budget. If you say that you only have $20 to spend on this hobby for this month, that $20 is it. Don't spend more. Don't fall into the trap where you want to spend more money. It's a terrible idea. Then another idea is to join local groups. So let's say, as an example, you're joining the Magic the Gathering stuff. You want to join a local gaming shop, or a local furry group, or those type of things, or a local gardening group, or a local photography group, something like that. Doing local things, you might make contacts, and those people can introduce you to the cheaper ways of doing things. And then I think the last point that I am kind of calling myself out on is sticking to one hobby at a time. Now, this to me is absolutely bonkers and crazy because I want to be all over the show, and I want to have multiple different hobbies and be all over the place. But stick to one hobby at a time. Try avoiding, expensive hobbyists where they, cross over, because I think that's a big trap. You can fall into this trap where you have 3 or 4 expensive hobbies. Instead, focus on only one at a time, especially, something that is in your budget, and try to fill your space with other hobbies that might be free or cheap. Things like getting into drawing or writing or even gardening can be pretty cheap if you get seeds and you have patience. I think a lot of it also comes down to impatience, because we as humans, especially in the modern day society, we are very impatient. We want things now. We want them immediately. We want that immediate gratification where we get that satisfaction immediately. And because we want that immediate gratification, that comes with a cost. And companies are exploiting that in us. They're exploiting our inability to be patient, and they're making a lot of money out of us. So take a look at how you can make your hobbies cheaper. Maybe there's a few points that I haven't thought of. Please drop them down in the comments below so that I can see. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's my rant. This video is basically born out of a little bit of frustration, because I looked at like the hobbies that I have and how expensive they are. And you know what? I think I can do things cheaper. I think I can be better. So tell me about your things. Tell me, maybe you have a niche hobby that you've found a way to make very cheap. Please do write it in the comments. I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And please have the most amazing day. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. Here's a few videos that I think you might really enjoy.